Hello, storytellers. Storytelling Ron. This is about the D&D push of paganism upon all of us, and the woke culture is, and BLM and all that is paganism, and they're pushing upon us. And I'm watching like the libertarians on YouTube and everybody else like kind of like trying to fight the culture war, but they don't get what how evil this truly is, and I mean evil in the sense of love your enemy, evil. Jesus is going to win the end, so I don't have like any animosity towards what the unchosen or the evil are doing. I really don't. I mean, I guess I get annoyed and impatient, but I get it. I know why they're doing it. I think what I'm probably most annoyed by is what is good doing about it. What are we doing about it? What evil's going to do is evil's going to do what evil does, and evil's not going to apologize for what they do. They're going to keep doing it, and they're going to turn it around and accuse you of, as you can see, of being racist, bigoted, hatred. Projecting on you what their evil is, because that's what evil does. Evil will never. Or here's a question: will evil ever apologize for the evil they do? Will the Democrats ever apologize for their slavery? And no, of course not. They will blame Republicans or the abolitionists or whoever. And I don't. And when I say Democrat, I mean the policies and beliefs of Democrats. There's plenty of Democrats who don't realize what they're a part of. But I accept the Democrat Party because I want evil to actually go somewhere and say who they are. I don't want them to be in the dark. I want them to actually live their life, and have a place to go, which is the Democrat Party, and that's where they will go because evil wants tyranny. It wants tyranny over you. It wants to use courts, military, wars, whatever, to control you and me. They want to be tyrants. They want to be little mini gods, and they can't help themselves. They keep doing it over and over. I mean, that's what God is saying. God is saying, if you're not going to believe in me, you're going to be this. What the serpent said. Don't believe in God. Be your own God. And God is basically saying it's a test, and you're going to fail. And He knows you're going to fail. Because He made you. And yes, He made him that way. And He made me good. I know I'm chosen only because I love pursuing God. That's like for you, in case you are wondering. And every time I read the Bible, I adjust myself to it, and realize, oh, I got this wrong. I've got to readjust what I'm thinking and fit with God's word. So that's it. You can fail and be a sinner and mess up. And He'll throw that at you eventually, but if you just pursue God and you want to do things for God and you enjoy God and Jesus is a high that you can get whenever you want. You're saved. You're a Christian. If you feel guilty, there's a good chance you are. You just gotta refine that. If you're angry at what I'm saying here and find me disgusting and offensive, yeah, God's probably not for you. Made thusly. Okay. I'm going to go through this stuff here about D&D. Evil is happening. It's returning. It's paganism. It's all paganism. It's the same thing. It's been happening over and over. And I'm just trying to get you to understand that and realize what they're doing. What is the solution? Church, fellowship, refining yourselves, iron sharpens iron, and rebuking evil and subduing it. Subduing it in the sense of calm down, evil. Let's live here in this world while we're mortal. Calm down, evil. Just calm the freak down. That's what we need to be doing. And unfortunately, we're not doing that. What we're doing is, let's get along. Let's go along. Let's get along. I'll shut up by faith, and we'll go along to get along. We're doing that. We're doing that sort of. We're acting like pagans in the RPG culture. We're playing exactly like pagans. We are removing our faith willingly and playing like a pagan and being part of the pagan culture, and we're reinforcing them, and we're putting paganism up on a pedestal as in the RPG culture. We Christians are, and that's why I'm saying stop doing that. Start being an actual Christian in the game, not play morals and play good. No, play a Christian. What's a Christian do? The Great Commission, evangelism, and church planning. I know that sounds kind of boring to you, but it's not boring. It's a lot of fun, and that's what check out all my live plays on here with this stuff. It's a lot of fun, you're missing out. You know, you get to do all the things you do in RPGs, including lose it and go violent. Yes, we Christians will lose it and go violent. Yes, we will, and that's okay, because you know you're in a game too. You can explore that avenue, but at the same time, you get to evangelize and plant churches in it. Not only do you save the villagers from the dragon, you get to figure out why the villagers are even worshiping the dragon, or why didn't they confront the dragon? Why are they cowardly? Why are they feeble? Why are they, throughout the medieval history, when Christians were around planting churches, they planted civilization, courage, self regulating people who knew to have courage, chivalry, and cared for others, and charity. And there's a big book called Communion, which I have over there. But he's saying, Tom Holland, the book Communion, he's an atheist, but his whole thing is he admits that Christianity is what built what we all love and have today. But he says that him and all the historians have now conceded that the pagan temples of the back in the day were not conquered by Christians. They were dilapidated. They had gone into ruin because everyone went to Christianity, because the Christians were so productive and evangelists and planting churches, and they were charity. They brought in charity. That was something new. Charity was a completely new thing, and they were helping each other. And the pagan temples were now, all the priests of the pagan temples were all like trans, and were all getting drunk. They didn't care. Their temples were falling apart. That's what happened. And today, the churches are not engaging the community anymore. And of course, I can go into politics on that, but politically they're being cornered in the back, pushed into the back, and especially in the Democrat policies. Churches used to be the primary charities of the communities, but now the Democrats have used the government to be the charities of the communities, and push the churches out, or sold them out, bought them out, and that's wrong. The churches need to fight back on that, on those laws and regulations that make it impossible for them to be charities, because they'll get sued. They'll get, the government is allowing so many like regulations now that if you don't follow these regulations, you will get shut down, and that's what the churches need to fight against. Anyway, okay, Anyway, that's another path. All right, so let's just go. I'm going to start attacking the D&D thing here. I didn't even prepare this, but this one a little better. Okay, so this is just on Not the Beat. I'm thankful. I'm glad that they put this together, so I didn't have to. And I've seen plenty of other libertarians. Some are kind of Christian-y, but fighting this, like Grum's here. But they don't understand the source of what this all is. The source of this is paganism. The source of this is anti-God, pushing anything against God. And this whole thing with them, they bring up like the D&D people bring up like wheelchairs and handicapped. And it's like, have you been to our church? I mean, have you been to a church? Apparently not, because we have entire groups catering to the disabled in wheelchairs, and bringing them in and hanging out with them, and then going in and serving them. We have like a whole ministry on this, and it's like the pagans are like, oh, we care about the disabled, and no, it's like we Christians are again rolling our eyes. You guys, when you see Christians and you see that we're like totally like just dumbfounded, it's because we're dumbfounded because of how dumb you are. We found the dumbness. You're preaching all these like good things. We're just like, we've been doing this forever. Why? Well, what's what? That we're dumbfounded. Okay. So yeah, they're turning orcs into these woke trans cultural appropriation things. This is ridiculous. I don't really care. So this gay dwarves. I like Niana. I listen to their clownfish videos quite a bit, just for the D&D and Disney culture. And I do a lot of things like walking dog, work. I do a bit of woodwork. So I like to listen to stuff a lot. So as we all do. So this is gay dwarves, and they have their gay tattoos of each. Wow, this is just amazing. So this is D&D, and you guys are still playing D&D. You guys are still fixing with that. And I'm telling you, stop, get away from it. I have a Christian role playing game. I don't know. I'm tooting my own. If there were others, great. But maybe Holy Land, I think is a Christian one. But that's it. I don't really know of any other. And Holy Land is more fantasy, so maybe check that one. And it's more. I think it's got a lot more deep rules than mine does. I had it years ago, but I don't have it anymore. But I mean, check them out. Holy Land something. Holy Lands. Just look that up. I think that's a lot more fantasy than what my stuff is right now. I plan on doing Fantasy 1, but I'm still delving into the Dark Ages one. Lesbian elves here. Wheelchair, whatever. Woman paladin. Hillary Clinton paladin. Yeah, I don't erase men in my game. Men are men, women are women in For the Lord RPG. Hardcore. Like, if you're a woman in the game, you're not going to go running around being a paladin or a knight. It's going to be a waste of time as a character. You're just not going to, it's not going to work for you. It'll work for a little, and I don't even put in the hardcore rules that will break down a woman physically. I remember reading about a woman who was trying to get into special forces, trying her hardest to get in. And she wrote an open letter saying, I have been misled. Because she could compete with men for one day. And then her whole body was racked with pain, with all her training, whatever. And then the next day they got up and did it again, and she could not continue. The men did it every day. She could barely do it once a day, per week or whatever. So imagine that as a warrior or whatever. That's ridiculous. Yeah, women can do things a little bit, but they do not have the ligaments strength, joint strength that men have. They're completely designed differently by God. And so when you see women like in the Star Wars Acolyte or whatever, and they show them all being tough and stuff, it's silly. It's so silly. You guys look silly. We have the dumbfounded look on our faces. You look silly. That's just tell them. We Christian men, you got to tell them. And we men are superior to women in most every way. Okay, we are. My wife knows it. I know it. And we are the leaders of our women. We are the leaders. And what is leadership as defined by a Christian? You all should know this. Service. Pagans don't define leadership as service. Pagans define leadership as a dictator. They want to rule. Leadership for them is dictatorship, ruling. For us men, for Christian men, our leadership is service. We serve our women. The most important thing to me is my wife. And she is annoyed by it. But the most important, I am the leader of my wife. I am the leader of the family. I am the leader of her, and she knows it. And I worship the very ground she walks on. I worship the very ground she walks on, and not like an idol or anything. I'm just saying. I'm using hyperbole here, but everything I do is for her. That's a Christian man leading his wife and being superior physically, mentally. I can focus better than her. I'm not still, supposedly. I have situational awareness, definitely. She does not have situational awareness. But I worship the ground she walks on. Okay, so yeah, so here's a bunch of comments. I didn't even, the D&D, the 6E Paladin looks like she might only turn the undead who have information on Whitewater. The new Paladin doesn't actually kill anyone. They all just commit suicide under questionable circumstances. She has kingdom secrets in her private scroll cupboard. I have information that will lead to the rest of 88 smite damage. Okay. She casts Erase on her servers. The physical component is a bit of bleach and a rag or something. Used to speak to undead to gather votes. So when we're allowing pagans to run the society, run the government, they will bow and nod along to the craziness and the evil that Democrats do. If you allow paganism to run everything, which we are allowing today, that's why it's getting so crazy and so corrupt. When you have Christians in there, which we used to have, and Christianity used to be the level, the standard, the minimal standard of our governance. When we used to have that in the 80s and in the 90s it started changing, but in the 80s, 70s, there used to be this minimal standard of Christianity in the government, and thusly, and in the media too. The media, well, they were fake, but they understood the Christian ethics. Thusly, honesty there was an attempt at honesty. There was an attempt at being lawful. There's an attempt at, now there was evil. There was corrupt leaders. There was leaders who did this and did that. But they were under a strict, they knew about getting caught or about being exposed, or then they had to tamper down on whatever they were doing. Whatever their end goal was. Or they would get caught and get arrested, or, be exposed and be publicly humiliated or judged or whatever. Today, that's not the case. Today, there's 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, all know the same thing, and they all willingly hide it, willingly cover it up. The whistleblowers are few and far between because there's just not enough Christianity in there. There's not enough truth seekers. All that are in there are agenda seekers. Their agenda is more important than the truth. For Christians, the truth is more important. If you're a Christian and you lie to get somewhere, other Christians will go, I know he's doing good, but he's lying about, what's going on. So we can't really let that happen. Even if that person is doing good, if they're lying to get there, it's not right. We should not allow that. And that's the way Christians are. We want the truth before an advantage or something. And pagans, we'll just take the lie. We'll take the advantage. 100 of us, yeah, let's all just take the advantage. We'll keep the lie, take the advantage, and get our agenda. Christians, like 100 of us, we have a lie for the advantage. Let's keep, oh boy, some 10 or 20 of them are going to start saying this is wrong. But today with the media, how Biden is after the debates, they're all like exposing him as being unable to continue. That we knew that for years now, that he was like that. And to us, we're dumbfounded because this has been going on for years. He's not running the country. That's my opinion. As a citizen, he's not running the country. Someone else is. I think it's Obama. I think it's him and them writing the executive orders, planning all this stuff out, and Biden is just while he's on vacation, they're just coming up with all the executive orders. And that's to me, I'm pretty sure that's unconstitutional. That's illegal. He should be deciding what the executives order are and signing them. I get he has a cabinet, but that should be open. Who's on that cabinet? Do you even know who's in his cabinet? I mean, right now, like who the individuals are that are kind of there. I literally don't even know who they are. No one's said anything, not even conservative media. Like where's the investigation into that? All right, let's get back to this. Boy, I'm going off on all kinds of tangents here. Let's get back to this video, which is like, what the heck? So this video here is, come on. So this guy, I just looked him up really quick, but Daniel Quasar makes these, look at this. It's just like here, pushing this religion. And this is a religion. This is a religion. Libertarians are fighting the woke culture, but they're fighting a religion. This is not a philosophy or it's a religion because it's government. They want government involved to force you to believe in it. They want you to force you to believe in it. Otherwise you will be punished. And it has a flag. It has symbols. It's a religion. And we need to start calling it out as a religion because they're pretending that Christianity is a religion and then this is not a religion. So thusly they get to put it in government. Government gets to push it. Government is pushing this and this is ridiculous. Or I would just say, let's just bring Christianity back in the government and just force it on everybody, like Christian nationalists. Let's just force Christianity on everybody. I mean, if they're doing this, let's just do it too. I'm at that kind of point where I'm like, but of course, if we had Christianity in the government and forced it on everyone, guess what? Our forcing on everyone is we wouldn't force it on anybody because we're not supposed to. We can't compel you to believe in Christianity. What we can compel you to do though is have a modicum of freaking morality in your life, so that you're not going to be doing sexualizing children, sacrificing children, sexualizing children, sacrificing children. That we're just going to say no to that. But today, both are happening in the government, both are happening in the culture. Sacrificing children, sexualizing children. They're happening in the culture now. At San Francisco Pride Parade, sexualizing children, sacrificing children. What else what can I do? The only thing I can do is say, hey, it's happening. We need to stop it. Churches need to wake up. So they're pushing these pride things. And then of course, This doofus guy, boy, look at that wonderful smile he's got. I know I'm being this guy. I'm like, what is this? He talks about how wonderful D&D is. He looks really unhealthy too. Who might I say anything? Okay, so there's a video again, but he's got like 675 subscribers on YouTube. I mean, I'm low. Look at this. Why are they? Who? Okay, here he is. Okay, so he's got this page. He's done Pacific Northwest College of Art, Portland, Oregon. Okay, that makes sense. BFA in Communication Design, Multimedia Focus, Special Achievements, Progress Pride Flag, and Victoria and Albert Museum. Progress Pride Flag flown permanently on federal lands. Stonewall National Monument, New York, New York. Why is a Progress Pride Flag flown on a government national monument? Progress Pride Flag, NASA headquarters, Washington, D.C. Why is there a Progress Pride Flag on any national whatever? This is like not. This is a flag. Is a flag. I don't know what this is. Okay, whatever. Progress Pride Flag 2018. What is going on with this? Why does he get this in any national thing at all? A flag, a piece of cloth, usually rectangular, of distinctive color and design, used as a symbol, standard, signal, or emblem. National or other allegiance as symbolized by a flag. This is an allegiance to something. Obviously, it is an allegiance because of the way they treat it. This flag is a conquering of the land, a declaration of occupation. And what the heck, what is going on here? So, what am I even talking about here? I'm just like tired. D&D, what are you doing? Okay, we all know what they're doing. They're woke. They're pushing paganism. So are most other RPGs. And so I'm just trying to get you guys to realize that this is happening at a breakneck speed now. And we need to get off of it. And I'm saying also, just because of the joy of having these games, we don't even need to go to like the OSR old school games. We don't need to let's return to those. But they are the reason that this next generation is the way it is, because you still have the old role-playing games are still pagan. They make us think paganism. They make us explore the paganism and forget our Christianity, and they make us forget our church history, and they make us forget things that we should remember and live and relive and do and be part of. And that's kind of what I'm going after. I don't hate these things. I don't hate, especially, I hate the new stuff, but I don't hate the people that are just trying to make it a game and have fun. I get that. I'm just trying to give you something to really contemplate, think about, pray on, and try. And you got to try this because, or take the evangelism church planning part out of it in mine and put it in yours. I don't care, whatever. But evangelism and church planning needs to be part of our psyche now. I do think church history should be part of it as well, but I personally have to still go back and study more of that. So this book right here, I don't recommend reading this, but The Hammer Witches is the beginning of the witch trials, and the guys that wrote this back in the day, 14th century-ish, were studying what the heck the pagans were doing, because it was getting worse and worse. I'm just going to read it a little bit here. Question 6 pertains to sorcerers cooperating with demons. And this is all they believe this is going on. Pertains to sorcerers cooperating with demons. How is it that women are found to be tainted with this heresy more often than men are? What sort of women are involved more than other is explained in the following 5 questions. All right. This is written in 14th century. I got it. I'm going to do the Gothic RPG setting using this same game. And it's going to be primarily kind of focused on this kind of stuff. So it's very scary and very adulty, but it happened, and it's been happening, and it's gruesome and wretched in here. I'm just going to, this is not as wretched, but this is only a few more sentences here. Question 7 is whether sorcerers are able to, through the virtue of demons, to turn the mind. Oh, by the way, this is page, just so you know, page 82, I think. 82 out of, this is like 500 pages. 600 pages. Anyway, Page 82. Page 81, 82. Question 7 is whether sorcerers are able, through the virtue of demons, to turn the minds of humans to irregular hatred or love. Irregular hatred or love, which is lust about, and about the way to propound this topic in sermons to the congregation. That's probably to help warn them. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the context of that is. But anyway, question 8 is whether, as far as the topic in sermons to the congregation, is he trying to warn them, or are they actually doing those sermons to get them to believe that in the church? Question 8 is whether they are able to impede the power of procreation, the sexual act, with a certain incidental question as to why this act is sometimes impeded with respect to one person and not another. So these questions, by the way, are then further delved into later on. So he's just summarizing what he's going to be talking about. So sexual acts, they're obviously focusing on that, or focusing on lust and sexuality. Question 9 is whether they take away check this out, is whether they take away male members through a magical illusion, as if these members have been torn from the body, with certain other related difficulties. So they're trans. This is in 14th century paganism, witchcraft and Satanism. They are turning men into women. And he's trying to figure out what's going on here. They need to investigate this. And this is like prevalent across the culture. And I even read where a missionary went to China for the first time, and he saw how many trans there were. He couldn't believe how many, like, it was just common. So trans was huge, and the Roman guy I just read in the Tom Holland's book was pissed off that the pagan temples were failing, and the priests were all trans at the bars, and they were all dressed as women, getting drunk and then having sex with men. Question 10 is whether they are, okay, this is hilarious, sort of, is whether they are able to change humans into the shapes of animals with another incidental difficulty. Furries. They've already, nothing new here. Question 11. Okay, is about midwife sorceresses who kill fetuses in the womb and outside in various ways. Abortions. So they're trying to stop these abortions, child sacrifices, sexualizing them, the trans, and they're trying to figure out why they are doing this, or how is it they're able to do all this stuff. They don't even know. He's literally saying we have to. This is like a McCarthy moment, this is a moment where he's exposing the communist Marxist paganism that's going on, and he's obviously been hated throughout history. The witch trials have been judged as hateful because of what they did, but that's what's been going on throughout the culture everywhere in the cities. The paganism had gotten so bad that he had to say, hey, this is an issue. We need to, this, I mean, it's all like under, hidden away and in the dark corners of the alleys and stuff. But he's like trying to expose it to the churches back then, that we need to wake up. And this is happening. And I'm here trying to tell you, wake up. This is happening in the RPG culture. This is happening in all the cultures. And the reason it's happening is because we are not putting them on trial anymore. And I don't even care about putting them on an actual trial like that. I'm saying we need to put them on a trial in the public court of opinion. We need to fight back, and the best way to fight back is evangelism and church planting. And we need to plant our churches in these games. You, as Christian men and that are in the RPG culture, that go to these conventions, that do these games, you need to evangelize. And I'm saying start small, baby steps. Start doing these games. They're hilarious. They're a lot of fun. Commit yourself, delve into it. I'm working on more, and you can work on stuff, and let me know. Christian, okay? Not progressive Christian, not Mormon, not Jehovah, Christian, Reformed Baptist, Protestant, whatever. I don't even know the terms anymore. If you're Catholic, that's fine by me. If you're Orthodox, that's fine too. You guys are part of the medieval history, so I'm fine with that. We'll get the right answers with Jesus. It's fine by me. You're the least of my problems as far as that goes. But the progressive Christians, I consider part of the woke. They're part of it. They're just, the woke can pretend Christianity. They can pretend, they can mislead and pretend to be Christian. So, so we have to get back into it. We have to wake up and be kind of obnoxious all the time. And I am now, and I enjoy it. I enjoy that I am not part of the RPG culture I'm not delving into all the other stuff. And I do like them. And I actually watched some videos. Okay, here's one. Here's a good one. I actually, because I do have that tinge of desire for that sort of fun, crazy, adventure stuff. I'm not going to name who it is, just out of being nice and stuff. But there's these two that were talking on YouTube, and one said that his party went into a village to rescue a girl, but it's because they're going to sacrifice the girl. Of course, they would sacrifice a young child, and so that was good that he, But anyway, they went in and they realized that the family wanted, were chosen to sacrifice the girl, and you know what I mean. So they, all the families who wanted. It's an honor, and that's absolutely paganism, right? That's absolutely paganism. It's an honor to sacrifice your child to the gods. So were they Christian? No. What did the party do? They got out of there. They left. Or that was their goal at that point. They didn't care. They didn't want to stop it. They didn't want to do anything about it. They just wanted to get out of there because they're like, well, screw it then. Let them, That's paganism too. Makes total sense. And that's reflective of not only the game, but of today, of our society. Right? We're allowing abortions. We're allowing child sacrifice for the Golden Globe Awards, for their careers, for their wealth, for their harvest, whatever. And what do the other pagans do? Oh, screw you. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. That's your God. It's not my God. That's your God. What do Christians do? If that was a Christian party, what would they do? See, well, I have the same game. And I want to do a crazy game like that where there's a crazy world and Christians actually get thrown into it and have to do something about it. But, and that could be a cool thing, like a parable universes where we could create these crazy gonzo worlds and fantasy worlds and stuff, where you could go do that kind of stuff. But in the apocalypse one, you can do that kind of world, like a gonzo world, which is what it is. So I do have a game that does that. And they do use magic. They use black magic and chemicals and drugs and potions and all that. So it's there. I just need more content. So if you guys want to help me out, great. But the Christians will go in that village and say, this is wrong. The family, you are wrong. You're evil. And we're going to stop you. And we're going to save her and teach you and evangelize and change your mind and stop worshiping this evil God or whatever. Oh, but the evil God is powerful. Oh, okay. We're going to go deal with that God and just kill it, that beast or whatever it is, and prove to you, that's the adventure. That's an awesome adventure. Then they bring back the head of this beast or whatever, if they could all die. That's the fun of the game too. They could all die and fail for God. That's fine. Totally fine. And then, if the party does all die, guess what? Let's make new characters and go back there again as new Christians. We're going to do it again. That's the goal. We're going to do it again. So let's just say they succeed. They bring the head back to whatever, to this family and prove to them this is just a beast. And the family, this is a great experience. The family's like, they'll, hopefully they convert them and evangelize or whatever. We roll dice and see. They could fight them. They could go crazy and attack. But the moment that they turn the family or turn whoever away from this evil and is a great moment in the game. It's a great moment because Christians are not going to give up in the game. Sadly, today here in our culture in America, we Christians give up. But in the game, you don't give up. And here's the thing. You guys, if you play this way in the game, it's going to change you. Your psyche is going to start changing in the real world. That's the point. But you're having fun. You're having fun in this game. It's a role-playing game. And we need more of that. We need to change each other back to evangelism, and it needs to be comfortable. Have you ever actually had the words of the gospel coming out of your mouth to talk to someone? In this game, you can do it and do it fully and as much as you want, without any sort of embarrassment because you're just working on it. That's the whole point of anything. You can't fight with a sword just out of the box, right? You have to practice. You have to drill over and over and over for years to even get comfortable doing it. That's the whole point of this game too, is have fun, drill, have fun though, stories, everything, and then work on it. We have been drilled to be a pagan for all these games, all variations of D&D, all variations of all role-playing games are drilling us to be pagans. And that's my point now. Stop doing it. Stop teaching your kids to be pagans. Start teaching them to be evangelists. And still have the same freaking hilarious fun in the game. You can make mistakes. I I really encourage them to make mistakes, and do the wrong thing and become too violent, too greedy, I do, because I'm fine with that, because we Christians do that. We do fail. The thing is, we come back to the goodness, we don't just keep going into the evil and patheticness that we all are defaulted in as sinners. We do the wrong, but then we have to self-correct. And the church has been like that throughout history as well. And we seem to ignore that. And that's very annoying, that we think that we're all perfect as the church history. We're not. But we always return to goodness whenever we can. Whereas paganism is keep going in, deep dive into the sin. Let's keep going. That's our agenda. So, yeah. So I'm just begging you. I don't need to beg you. You got to decide for yourself. But I'm having a great time with this. It's just a wonderful thing. And the Dark Ages game is free. I got a couple of $5 PDFs, supplements for that. And then the Apostles is there in Christian Space. And I'm constantly updating it. I want to stop updating it here at some point pretty quick so that it's done. And the only thing updates are like little wordy corrections or things like that. Nothing. It's all playable. It's all ready to go. The little errata type things is all I'm adjusting, but or adding. And then there's going to be some homebrew. You guys going to add some new stuff to it. But it's a great game, man. I'm telling you. I played all these games, 45 years of GMing and DMing, and and I've done Rollmaster and D&D and what else I got over there? Cthulhu and all that. So I know the games. I just I've got a game now. It's great. Check it out, and start your fellowship and ministry. Start it. Get with some Christians. We need to get on this, all of you. All right. Whew. In the game of life. And happy 4th of July. In the game of life, roll holy dice.